let's talk. Story time. Banging. So let's get to talking about how almost dying actually saved my life. This is about the time that I almost died. That happened in 2018. The exact date was October 17th, 2018. So I'm giving a disclaimer because, again, my title is, almost dying saved my life. But I do want you to know that there was a moment where I still considered going out. Okay. So what happened was in December of 2018, I think the date was exactly the 26th. I found out that a student of mine from, what year was that? 2010, 2011. So she was like 26 years old. That's where the 26 comes from. She was 26. I don't like to get into the gruesome aspects of stuff. All I know is it wasn't planned because I was literally the last person she spoke to. I got a message that she had died. So, and she had been battling depression for a while. It was a whole lot of stuff. So I understand there was lots of demons and stuff that she was chasing, but this was a student. Oh God, here comes the tears. This was a student I was really close to, and she was just really, really a dope student. And so she used to stay after school all the time, and we would talk for hours. So when I heard about her death, it was tough for me because here she was, I think she did swallow pillows. Here she was doing something that I did when I was 16, and I didn't die then, obviously, because I'm 40 now, right? And so I went through a moment of, why me?
Oh my God. I wasn't prepared for this. I went and did my eyelashes.
I went through a moment of why me with her. Why did I survive and why did she die? Because she did exactly the same thing I did. And I woke up fine. I've told the story before, so that's not actually the bad part. I woke up fine. I took like 9 Tylenol 3s with codeine and like 8 sleeping pills. And I got up fine the next day. In fact, I was pissed off at God.
I was like, why? I wanted to leave. Why'd you wake me up?
And I woke up on time to go to school at 7 a.m. And I was just like,
this just isn't right.
And so anyway, so the whole point of that is like, so she did something that I did and she didn't make it, but I did. And I was wrestling with that.
Like, why did you save me?
Because, and here's the thing, God saved me so many times.
Like, oh my God, what is going on? Guys, what the heck is going on? Okay. Oh my God, I don't know what's going on. And I just did my eyelashes. I can't cry. Hold on.
All right. So like I said, God saved me a lot of times, guys. Since 2016, since 2014, 2014, I had an appendicitis. And it was about to be really ugly. I had appendicitis. 2015, I forgot. 2016, I had pneumonia. Didn't even know I had pneumonia. Like,
I don't know what God does to me, but I never know what's wrong with me. Because I never know sometimes that things are wrong.
Yeah. So I had pneumonia 2016. Something else happened in 2017. And then 2018. So fast forward to what I'm talking about. The time I know how close I came to dying.
This is going to get a little spiritual, so stick with me.
I was sitting on the couch. Well, I had a surgery in August. I had a foot surgery. So I had become very stagnant. And this is a relevant part to the story. I had become very stagnant. Not just physically because I couldn't get up and just walk. But also stagnant in my mental, stagnant in my thinking, stagnant in myself, in my dreams. Like I was busy. I was working. I was doing things. I was posting. I was commenting. I was buying into programs. I had got into a major program that was a $5,000 program. And I did like nothing, but I showed up, I was there. And maybe some of you guys can relate to that of doing all the things and doing nothing at the same time. Because I was wrestling with this thing of who am I in this space? Because this space, I had been in online entrepreneurship for 3 years at the time. And I still had not carved my way. I got to watch people who came out at the same time as I did in 2015, and they were making headway. They were 6 figures and 7-figure earners by the time that 2018 rolled around. And I'm sitting here like, what is my problem? What's wrong with me? Why can't I move? I literally couldn't move at this time because I have foot surgery in August. I'm fast forwarded to October. I'm still not moving. Like, my mind is like,
do stuff.
My body was like,
No.
because there was incongruency with myself. I did not know what I wanted. I did not know who I was. But when October 17, 2018 happened, I was chilling on a couch. I was just like chilling on a couch, watching a movie, scrolling through the phone. Next thing you know, there was a twinkle of light, you know, and I've seen one of those things before. So I'm very spiritual, like I said. So I'm like, hey guys, you know, like I felt like it was my grandma or something. And then it was another twinkle. And then it was another twinkle. Oh, that's what happened. 2017, my grandma died. Like it's just been a bad succession of years. So there was a twinkle. I'm like, oh, is my grandmother visiting me? This is what I'm thinking. And so I'm still scrolling, whatever. Then there was another twinkle. So that's two. I'm like, okay, I lost my grandfather and I lost my cousin. There was a third one. I was
Like, wait, hold on. I feel like there's an intervention happening.
Next thing you know, my hand starts tingling. And I'm like, okay, I've had that before. You know, it could be blood pressure, but I had already taken my pill. So I was like, okay. And then the tingling crept up my arm. And then half my face went numb. I'm like,
But wait, I took my blood pressure pill, so this can't be a migraine.
my migraines are weird. They look like strokes. And so I'm like,
This can't be a migraine. Oh my God, I think I'm about to have a stroke.
because like half my tongue went numb. Half my face started tingling. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm having a stroke. And so I go to stand up and then I couldn't say what I was thinking. And I had told dude when I got up, I said,
You know what? I think I should go to the hospital.
and so he's getting ready to get me there. And then when I couldn't say what I was thinking, I was like,
I'm going to call the ambulance.
and so I just called the ambulance. Don't do that, by the way. The ambulance is an expensive thing to do, okay? Don't do that, by the way. The ambulance, I don't know why they don't contact your insurance and get the money from them, but the ambulance was like close to $2,000 for a 20-minute ride. EMTs get there and they see me, and guess what?
There's nothing wrong with me.
I'm coherent. They're asking me questions. I can get my answers out. I'm a little slower than normal, but I make sense. And they're like, what's your name? What's your address? Blah, blah, blah. So they're asking me and I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then they're like, do you have diabetes or anything? I'm like, no, I don't. And so then finally they took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was extremely, well, I had like a slight headache, not anything major, but a slight headache. And my blood pressure was bad. They put me in the truck to check my blood pressure and it was bad. It was like 202, something like that. 202 over like 120.
It was really, 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 really like, how the hell are you even talking to me bad?
So they tell me that, and then they're like, okay, so we got to take you to the hospital because you said you took blood pressure pills, and so we're taking you to the hospital. So I'm like, okay.
Maybe I was getting ready to have a stroke, and that was my warning I was having a stroke.
So I get there, and they get to regulate me in the ER. You know, it's kind of cool going through the hospital and being seen right away because, you know, the ER is like a 5-hour, 7-hour wait. So it was kind of cool being able to like go through the back door. So anyway, I'm normalized. Like, they got my blood pressure somewhere. They're like, we're just going to write you a different pill. And we'll, you know, it wasn't like, stroke, but it was like, okay, we'll watch you. You can go home. Well, then she asked me, did you have any surgery or anything? And I said, yeah, I had a surgery on my foot. So they're like, let's check your leg. So they check my leg. They find out I have a blood clot in my leg. Now, mind you, I'm telling you, I had no pain, nothing. And I had actually started walking on my leg by this time, you know, just a little bit. At the behest of my doctor. And so they do the x-ray. I have a blood clot. So she's giving me medicine and she's sending me home. Then before she says it, she goes, is there anything else? And I go, well, you know, before everything started happening, I was Googling, why is my breathing funny? Now, my breathing wasn't so funny. It was just like a tickle. And I'm like, why do I have like a tickle? Now, mind you, nothing else is wrong with me. Nothing else that I could tell. But I paid attention to the 3 lights. And so it was like a tickle. And she's like,
You know what? Because you had the blood clot in your leg, let's go ahead and check your chest.
So, mind you, they're drawing up my discharge papers at the same time. And so I'm about to go home. But luckily, this beautiful black doctor, she goes, let's just check your chest. When she came back after that happened, she said,
we're going to have to admit you, and you're going to have to be here for a while.
You have blood clots in your lungs.
And I was like,
Wait, what?
oh, okay. So that's medicine, right? And she's like, no, you got to be here for a while. So they send me up. They use big words that I never heard at the time. So it was like pulmonary embolism. And I am a Gemini. I'm super curious. So I'm like,
pulmonary embolism. Okay, reserved, because I'm going to look that up later.
I go to my room. My nurse was super inept. Super inept. Like, how did she have a job? So for over 30 minutes, she's trying to figure out the system of how to update and blah, 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 blah. And people are like frustrated with her because they're like, we've showed you this before. This is how inept she was. So it's over like 30 minutes or so. Mind you, I had no medicine, nothing for like over, I went there at 11 o'clock at night. It's 7 something because this is her first part of the shift. So 8 hours have passed. I had nothing. Like she started telling me things I wasn't supposed to hear. After she logs me in, she's like,
yeah, you got like multiple blood clots in your lungs. Like you have like 4 like on each side.
And I was like,
wait, what?
And so she leaves and I go to Dr. Google. I go on YouTube and there's a medical doctor who's teaching his students. So he had a video of him teaching his students on there. And I'm watching this video freaking the hell out because I was supposed to be in bad shape. I was able to talk to, just like I'm talking to you. Like I was fine. And I was supposed to be in super bad shape, right? Like
super bad shape.
Down the hall was a big man, had a DVT in his leg, a blood clot in his leg, and he was bawling. Like I could hear him all the way in my room. And every nurse that came in was like,
whoa, what are you doing?
I'm up. I'm live streaming to you guys, like because I needed something to process the fact that I could have died like right then and not even known it. Like I could have just fell out. And you know what really freaked me out about that? There was a show called 𝗚𝗵𝗲. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know that.
Because, I'm of advanced age.
So there was this show called 𝗚𝗵𝗲. And one of my favorite characters was on there. I always get him confused with Robert Downey Jr.
I don't remember his name.
But he has an aneurysm during court. He just falls to the ground dead during court because an aneurysm is a blood clot, right? So I had logged that in my head and I kept that. And that's how I knew a blood clot was some serious shit. Not only that, but my grandmother had one in February of 2017. That's what she ultimately died from, was the fact that the blood clots caused stroke. My grandfather had 2 strokes. The major one took away his abilities to do stuff for himself, and the minor one is what ultimately he gave into and died. So I was very much aware of the fact that clots are not good, especially in your lungs, because they can get swept up. And so I had a nurse who came in after that, because like I said, this doctor YouTube channel like really taught me some stuff. It was for nurses to know how to deal with stuff. Like I was supposed to be on a drip machine. I was supposed to be having breathing tubes up my nose and stuff. I was supposed to be like pretty much incapacitated for a few days as they did heparin or whatever. And I didn't have to do any of that. And then this nurse came and I was like, can you level with me? Another nurse. And I was like, I need you to level with me. What is wrong with me? Like, what's going on? And she was like,
yeah, you have some right side blockage with these blood clots.
Basically, all it would have taken was one to get swept up and it would have been done. Well, in the ambulance is where my questioning started. In the ambulance, I realized I almost died, leaving a legacy of struggle for my daughter. I have other kids, but I don't know. My focus is on my daughter because we have this female thing in our family where we don't achieve our dreams, right? And so, I mean, as far as I know, like my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my mother, like they just don't achieve the things that they really, really want. They settle so much for life. And, one of my models is never settle. And here I settled for the struggle. I settled for the hustle. I settled for the busy, but not growing. I settled for stagnation that I masked with something else. So in the ambulance, looking at those lights, I was just like, I can't.
This cannot be how I die.
Like I cannot leave this. For my daughter, in the hospital, I'm like, okay, I don't know me. I wasn't yet 40.
Oh man, my eyelashes. I wasn't yet 40.
I was 39. It was just really eye-opening because it was like, I don't know who I am. I don't know my voice. I don't know how to show up. I don't know how to position myself. I don't know how to stand out. I don't know how to use my greatness. I didn't even understand that I was scared of it. Like, I really didn't understand that I was scared of it.
I hated my life.
You know, I was in a relationship that was going nowhere. I felt voiceless. You know, I was the person who was usually used by other people until they were done with me. So it was just a life that wasn't worth even writing about. But what happened was, you know, I left that hospital searching for me, just like really, really searching for me. Who am I? What's my voice? Like, I gotta be bigger than my story, you know, because I wrote a book on sexual assault. It was my first book, and I was actually ashamed of my book because it was a small book at the time. So I wrote this, but I'm like, I gotta be bigger than the story because I actually did nothing with it. Because I just didn't feel like that was me. Like, I'm like, it happened to me, but I've got to be bigger than this thing that happened to me. I really struggled with who am I? And it's really bad to get to a point of nearly losing your life to finally go, I value my life. 2 months later, I had a student who committed suicide, and I'm like, you know, my crisis then became, why did you save me? Because I can't figure it out. I need your help. Tell me. Like, why did you save me? Why am I alive? Like, I don't want to be alive. I don't want to be alive in this struggle. I don't want to do this thing where I'm just existing. Like,
that is not life, right?
So I literally had to stare at my children for me not to get up and take an action to end my life. I looked at them and I'm like, I can't leave you. I can't do this because I can't give you this. I can't give you this struggle. I can't add a new struggle that my family didn't even deal with before, where you lose your mom. Like, we at least had our mom. It was damaging, but we at least had our mom. So I'm like, I can't do that to my daughter. So every time she would come in the room, I would stare so hard at her. Like, I don't think she freaked out about it, but I would, because it would keep me not moving. It would keep me not taking action. And then finally I had a friend who reached out and,
to make this even worse,
during my medical situation, we started going through eviction. Like, they started putting 3-day notices and stuff, and I actually had to swallow my pride and accept help from people, like actually let people know what was going on with me. And like I said, I'm usually the strong one. I'm usually the brick wall. I'm usually that person that everybody else comes to, right? We were also going through that. So it just wasn't a life that I was proud of. And it wasn't a life that I wanted. And it wasn't the life that I imagined. And it definitely wasn't the life I wanted to continue. And then I don't know. And then I started thinking, I don't want other people to feel this way. And this is why my business started finding itself out here. Like, this is why I started becoming a story coach, even though I didn't know what it was at the time, because I needed people to rewrite their stories. I needed people to see the power in their stories. I needed people to see that they weren't their tragedies. Like, you don't have to own that. That was a mistake somebody else made. But what you is the power that got you up out of that situation. And because you were so powerful to get up out of it, you got to let that situation go. But hold on to the lessons, right? What happened was I created this program around a friend who was helping me, but because of my pride, I was like, I'll do something for you. And so I created a 4-class structure to help her through her story.
You know, God uses people all the time, right?
So in helping her, I ended up helping myself. In helping her, I started seeing my mission. And my mission seriously became about helping other people see their power, helping their other people answer the question of why they're here, helping other people become more than just their story. You know, out of all this noise here on the internet, out of all this noise with all these other coaches and, you know, these money grabbers and all those things, I held on to the fact that what I wanted to help people do was be authentic. I wanted people to find their own voice, an authentic voice. I wanted to help people find their power. I wanted to help people use their experience to build a bridge forward for other people, to use their compassion to make impact. And I was no longer ashamed of being a person who didn't see money as the objective. The story that started pouring into me was that your gift will make room for you. Your purpose that thing will make room for you. And I want people to understand it's really honestly not about the income. But God's servants are not poor. They're really not. God's servants are supposed to be abundant in prosperity of life, of wealth, of health, of happiness, of friendships. So if you're finding yourself in a place of lack, chances are it's because you don't know your real story. Chances are it's because you don't recognize your own power. And when I work with clients, that is often what it is. We will start out with their stories and they will start seeing, holy smokes, I know what the problem is. And I know how it is that I can help the people I'm here to help so that they're not going through that same thing. Because it's like a dominoes, guy. It's really like a dominoes, guys. You know, when you tip and you fall, there are people behind you that can walk either the same exact way as you, or you can go, no. That's not how we gonna do this. Okay, let me teach you from my mistakes. Let me teach you from my successes. So we're supposed to turn around and help people up. And in doing that, we end up doing that for ourselves. Because guys, it's not about free. I want you guys to understand that. It's not about using your story for free. Because as I said, your gift will make room. Your gift will provide. But you have to value it. And if you don't attach a value to it, nobody else will. So what I do now, like I said, is I give so many opportunities for people to learn their stories. And this weekend, I'm giving one of those opportunities to show you how to actually construct your story, how to tell your story, how to use it where you have your characters and your conflicts, your rising action, your falling action, using everything that I know as a 13-year veteran in the education system, but also as somebody who has been the person who didn't even know who I was. I will show you how to get that together in Story Selling Made Simple. So it is this weekend. It is on Saturday at 2 p.m. Block out 2 hours, but it's about 1, but block out 2 hours because I never know where the conversation is going to go. The link is above in the caption. It is Story Selling Made Simple. So bit.ly/Story Selling Made Simple. We're going to capitalize all the new words. So it's capital S for story selling, then it's capital M, and then it's capital S for simple. So you guys will find that inside or the link somewhere around here. But I don't want you waiting to die with your legacy, to die with your story. I want you finding the power in it now so you can actually live. Because y'all, the life that I've had since then, the life I've had has been one of growth, no longer stagnation. Look, I can walk and jump on my feet, but more importantly, I'm moving in my life with real purpose and intentional action because I know who I am and I know where I'm going. I'm no longer afraid of my power or my story. So if you want to find out how to do Story Selling Made Simple, make sure that you join me this Saturday. Click the link because you don't want to miss it. I'll see you guys. Thank you. Oh, she good. Okay, let me start looking at myself. This is why you're supposed to look in the camera. You're supposed to look up at the lens because you're going to be looking at yourself.